If Miami, LA, and Manhattan had a baby, this is where we're at.
What are you talking about?
That's it. We're
That's
in
not.
Bellevue, Washington.
That's not true.
An offspring. But no, this is where you want to be. This is Bellevue.
But in all seriousness, I think people should know why you're kind of the Bellevue expert. Why don't you explain it?
Okay, so the last 3 years before I got into real estate, for 3 years I was a Bellevue police officer. So I know these streets, I know every address, I know every mom and pop shop who owns them, who owned them before that, better than anyone.
Yeah, so anybody who's getting some advice around town, they should listen to you in Bellevue.
1000%.
Okay, so you're the man in Bellevue. What's it like downtown here? Like, why do you like it so much
It's
in the
the
town?
nightlife, man. It's awesome. It's like you have the best restaurants, so much to do. It's so fun, and it's like everybody here is always in such a good mood. It's literally it's like Christmas.
I know. I mean, I know it's not Manhattan, and downtown Seattle might be more like a Manhattan, but like this side of Bellevue is just awesome. There's so many things to do.
It is awesome.
Okay, so I get it. Downtown Bellevue is awesome, but if you're out here with your fiance Emily, what do you guys do? What do you do in downtown Bellevue?
Look behind me. I mean, there's so much to do. I mean, this is just one of the many parks down here. But you know, there's restaurants. The shopping here is fantastic. The malls. So there's two types of malls. There's a bougie mall called the Bravern, and then there's the normal mall, which is the downtown mall.
So is bouginess kind of like? Can you come here for a second, Dorian? Point down here real quick. So I want to talk bouginess. You said bougie? I didn't say bougie. Bougie. So bougie is Louis Vuitton. How do you say that? Anyways, there's a difference between Louis Vuitton and Air Jordans, but like, is that like, where did you buy those shoes?
At Louis Vuitton. At
Where?
the Bravern.
In Bellevue.
Yes.
Right. So I think you're right. Like, so kind of the bouginess. There's a lot of nice like Tiffany's.
Yeah.
What other kind of stores?
They have everything. Gucci. They have Chanel. You name it. That people want, they have it.
Could you also buy like these kind of Air Jordans that are a lot less expensive?
We're going to talk about shoes for a second. So these shoes were, I don't know, $700, $800. His shoes were probably what, 100?
Yeah,
About $100.
Yeah.
And you have how many pairs?
What?
How many pairs do you have?
I don't hear out of this
He has
ear.
like 70 pairs of Jordans, so that's $7,000 worth of shoes.
I still can't hear.
Is that
I don't.
No, that's $70,000 worth of shoes. I don't want to hear it. I have one pair. He has 70.
What other kind of things are there to do? Like, what's the entertainment like in Bellevue?
So the nightlife here is awesome. It's on the other side of Seattle, but this is like the city to be. I mean, you have clubs.
Where would you go? Like, what's your favorite bar or club? Like, can you get a view from anywhere to get?
Yeah,
like,
so they have a really cool bar at the W. You can actually see it from here. It's that orange top piece right there.
Is that a good place to get a drink, or like, what do you guys
drink, food, dance, you name it. It's a really cool nightlife spot. But I used to go to Lucky Strike, which is kind of like an arcade, and then it's like on a
Are you a gamer?
Arcade club, so you got a little bit of the mix.
Okay.
But yeah, we're just so competitive at games. It's so fun.
What about what other really nice restaurants are there in Bellevue?
So the number one restaurant, in my opinion, here is Ascend.
It's not just about mentioning Ascend, it's about showing Ascend. Come on in.
One of the Bellevue towers here.
What kind of food is it?
It's a steakhouse, sushi.
Gotcha.
But they have some of the most expensive wines you can find. Like I believe the most expensive one there was like $4,000 to $6,000.
Hey,
$46,000.
It goes with your shoes. You could drink that when you're playing with your shoes.
Oh, you can have one bottle, you can have 46,000 $1 bottles. This guy. But yeah, so they have bowling, they have like nightlife, putt-putt golf.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool place to be.
Yeah,
and it is very busy.
And like even this park, this place, like if you're looking for something to do during the day, there's so many people. I mean, it's a nice day. There's so many people out.
We used to run laps here for cardio. It's just a great spot to be. The restaurants, Old Town Bellevue is right there. So it's like you get that nightlife here, and then you have the old town there. So it's a great spot.
I remember when I was a kid, they would have a fireworks show here every 4th of July. And I used to live in an apartment right over here, and you could just sit in your apartment and watch it. And it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a great place. So the nightlife here is awesome.
Yeah. What about jobs here? What do people do for work?
Jobs. It's very tech driven. So everybody says Amazon is in Seattle.
It's not?
It is, but half of it is here. All of these buildings, they lease out half the building. Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, it's all here.
So most of it's tech stuff. What about other types of jobs? I know you've got a buddy who's a financial advisor.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of that.
There's a lot of
financial advisors here, but there's also those mom and pop shops too. So they have little strips of little town shops.
Yeah.
And it's there. So they have everything here.
Yeah, I get it. Like, so similar to Kirkland, and we'll get into Kirkland a little bit later, but this whole area is really tech focused. Like think about some of our clients. I feel like at least most of my clients all work in these different tech companies. Is it similar, same for you?
Very similar.
Yeah.
It's very identical to Kirkland, but it's a lot more dense.
And isn't it crazy expensive to live here?
It is, but you know, it's worth it, right? It's like people buying Louis Vuitton shoes. They want to fit in, and but seriously, it's awesome. So you have Jeff Bezos that lives here. You have Bill Gates. You have a bunch of CEOs.
So like the richest people in the world, they live like how far from here?
A mile.
So like the two of the richest people in the world live like right there.
Right there on Lake Washington. Yep. So it's a great spot, and you'll see a lot of development in here, right? So the condos behind us, those big towers, we just had a new building, and it was a pre-sale. It was the most expensive sale of a condo.
Really?
Just happened for $15 million.
Whoa.
He did sell the highest until last month. It hurts, but I'm Jason Mesnick.
And let me welcome you to the nicest penthouse. Okay, hold on. Okay. I know everybody's gonna see this right now. So many years ago, it's just a few years ago, when I sold this really expensive condo, it was one of my very first videos, and he cannot stop teasing me about it. I think we're gonna let you see it now. Jason Mesnick, and let me welcome you to the nicest penthouse that you're ever gonna see. From your own personal lobby, you will enter into the main living area. You're gonna notice that every single detail was accounted for. Each of these little pieces of glass were hand blown, and they're like little windows into the cellar. Situated in the heart of downtown Bellevue, the entire top floor of the North Tower, with panoramic views in every direction. Now welcome to the crown jewel of the entire penthouse. I'm standing on more than 3,000 square feet of deck space that has... Okay, no, seriously, back to our conversation.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to live here?
For a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
right? You know, the safety's there, the school districts are fantastic, the sports within the school district is fantastic. Like Newport High School is the #1 school academically every year.
God, it is. Like, I see it in the news all the time, and I've always wondered why specifically, but there are so many people that want to get into that school.
Yeah, and not everywhere is super expensive, right? You have little pockets, especially on the east side.
Hey, what's your favorite neighborhood?
My favorite would
In
be
Bellevue?
West Bellevue.
Okay,
Yeah, West
so like
Bellevue,
right here.
Right around here, yeah.
But if somebody was moving here, and let's just say they could only afford, I know it's a lot of money for a lot of people watching this video, but if it's $1.5 million, could you get into Bellevue anywhere for $1.5 million?
Absolutely.
Where would you go?
I would probably go to Lake Hills. That's a great area.
Yeah.
It's a great community, good school district, and the houses there are fantastic.
So as much as I love Bellevue, can we start talking about Kirkland?
Sure. Let's go.
If Miami, Montana, and Arkansas had a baby, it'd be Kirkland.
No. You're mean. We're in downtown. Jason, what do you do down here?
Oh God, so I grew up in this area and it has changed so much. But when I think kind of like date night, right?
Yeah.
Molly and I's favorite place to go on date night is called Como. It's right down the street. But if I'm down here during lunchtime, it's a place called Santorini. It's got the best gyros around. I think back when I was on The Bachelor, I would talk about it all the time and the line was out the door.
Everybody thinks you're my dad. Okay, so hold on. So
Son?
you've been here. You've been here for a while.
I have been here almost my whole life.
What's changed since you were a kid?
It's funny, like this area, most of the restaurants and kind of things to do have changed, but it's always been kind of like a gallery place, nice restaurants, wine walks, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because, right above here, over kind of where I'm pointing, where is the waterfront, right? So in the summertime, it's always been a place where people hang out and go on their boats.
All right, we're in, what park is this? Where am I?
Marina Park. This is downtown Kirkland, are you kidding?
Okay, so what do you do down here? What do you do for entertainment? Like, if I wanted to go out 8 o'clock at night, hang out with some friends, what do I do?
Look over here. This is what you do. If you're in downtown Kirkland, it's all about the waterfront. Like in the summertime, kayaks, paddleboarding, jet skiing, it's all about being on the lake. When I think about other things to do, really, you're grabbing happy hour, there's tons of restaurants along the water here. There is a movie theater, right? But like Kirkland's all about being on the waterfront.
Okay.
Don't ask questions when it's right there, buddy.
So if it's raining,
Yeah.
like it is now, we're hiding under a tree.
Yeah.
What do you do when it's raining?
Well, I mean, I think like if you think about during the weekend, like the thing to do, everybody's always just out, even in the wintertime,
Yeah.
people are, what are you looking at?
Well, he's got a canopy and he's gonna go sit up
Yeah,
there.
so again, there you go. So that's so in the wintertime, people still come out and enjoy the waterfront. Like if it's not raining, you see all these benches all along here. People are gonna be sitting out, reading, just enjoying themselves. It's not a bustle city like Bellevue. I know you're a Bellevue guy, don't get me wrong, but it's not moving and bustling. It's people out for walks with their families. This park itself, you're talking about things to do, right around here, this is where my son learned how to walk. Meaning like he got out of a stroller and reversed it, meaning he pushed the little, the tabletop thing where you put food for little kids in the stroller and learned how to walk right here. That's the things to do. It's really a family place.
Yeah. Interesting. Isn't there like a concert in the park too or something?
Yeah, I mean,
Kirkland Uncorked?
Yeah, there's tons, there's wine events, there's drinking events, there's art walks all summer long. There's so much to do.
Okay, so it's pretty cool. What do you do for work here? I see a lot of mom and pop shops, a lot of local businesses, but what do people do for work?
I would say there are these kind of galleries and mom and pop type shops, but that's not really where people work here. Google took over Kirkland, meaning they have multiple campuses. They have a big campus in an area called Houghton in Kirkland, which is right near the water. And then another area, so at one point there's this big complex that they were building and Google bought it for all their staff called Kirkland Urban. It is awesome, but it's all Google. And you're not too far from Microsoft, which is actually in Redmond. So about 5 minutes or even 5 or 6 miles to Microsoft.
Oh yeah, so okay, what's your average price point here?
Well, the average price point really depends on the neighborhood, right? So if you wanted to get into, say, there's a bunch of really cool condos right on the water here. Yeah. You can get into a cool condo on the water for $650, $700. It's not gonna be brand new, but you could be right on the water, first time home buyer with an awesome view. But it does go up to like around the corner, and we've got a really cool listing right down the street here for over $11 million. And there's almost everything in between, but a big draw to Kirkland really is the schools. So many families, we're walking by all these kids here, right? They probably all go to a school nearby. Yeah. So the public schools are great. So depending on the neighborhood, you can go further out. You can buy probably on the low end, a single family home would be about $1 million. Okay. And on the high end, if you're not on the water, you're probably at $3.5 million. So there's something for everybody. And I know that seems like a lot if you're not from the Seattle area. Kirkland is awesome. Let me tell you, Kirkland, bought my first car here. Okay. Before that, I had my first kiss here. I've had owned several.
Don't tell Molly that.
She knows. She was my first kiss here. But I've owned several homes around here. I've had all my first in Kirkland, and it's a great place to be. So if you're gonna kind of tally up Bellevue, Kirkland.
Time out. Cut. Okay, so let's break it down.
Kirkland
Who
wins.
won? No.
Kirkland wins.
Who won? Okay. Break it down.
Break
So
it down.
first.
downtown area.
Yep.
I hate to say it, but I do have to give it to
We just
Bellevue.
have so much more to do.
There's so much more. There's so much shopping. There's so many things to do.
So
Absolutely.
Bellevue is going to be up here. Ding that one. It's in the cloud. 2, entertainment.
There's, you know, it kind of loops back in. I think it depends on the person, but there's so much more to do at Bellevue.
I agree. 3, restaurants and food. You know, I hate to say it. But we have
Kirkland is
so
better.
many- We have so much more.
Why do you
options.
keep on saying we? You own a place in
No,
Kirkland.
but it's Bellevue. And,
Okay.
You know, it's just like it's.
So
our
far, it's
backyard.
being shut out a little bit. So that's 3-0
3-0.
Bellevue. Okay.
Okay, real estate.
I would actually say Bellevue's much more expensive, right? Like Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right. We've talked about that a lot of times. But Kirkland's more reasonable. I think a little bit more family oriented. Give me this one.
I will,
please.
well, without even a doubt, I
Okay.
will give you that one.
Okay.
I think Kirkland kind of not blows Bellevue out of the water, but it just makes it a little bit more pleasing,
Yeah.
to be honest
yeah.
with you. 5, jobs.
Yeah. I would actually say, you know, I don't want to worry about numbers here.
It's
And
Bellevue.
I don't want to worry about numbers.
Yeah, we don't have to like tally anything else.
Yeah. I don't
But
wanna worry.
Bellevue just wins.
But the thing is, I will never give up my fight. If somebody's moving to town,
Yeah.
I think Kirkland is somewhere you have to explore.
Yeah.
Between, you know, it's less expensive. There's a lot of things to do. It's very family oriented.
Yeah.
And don't listen to him about Bellevue.
I do love Bellevue, but if I was going to move anywhere, it would be Kirkland. What are you laughing at? Get out. Leave me with my.
a lamppost.
Trying to get space.
Yeah.
See this yacht? Look at this yacht for a second. I sold that to a client for $2 billion.
If you're moving to the Seattle area, obviously this video was about Bellevue and Kirkland. We would love to be your agent of choice. Let us know if you have any questions at all, ever.
See you guys later.
Charlie? He thinks you got food.
No, he knows who I am.
No.
Same duck I used to feed in Kirkland. Come here. Robert. Come on.
Hank. Ted the duck. It's Ted the duck. Oh, it's scared of me.
It's like a client.